Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Super Show. We're going to kick off this week's show talking about the Plaid Saturday 3 match card. Plaid Saturday is, of course, the 30th of January. We know that the Thursday before, the 28th, will feature a defense of the LFF Trios Championship. Mallory the Destroyer will defend against Prince Butters. Friday will be the Boss's match card, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We still don't have a full match card on that. We just know about one match. Plaid Saturday, the 30th, will be the main Creative Competitor Tournament and 6 matches on the match card. One of them we know about already, the Cookies Fortune Final, the finals of the Cookies Fortune Tournament. I'll get into that in a little bit. Here are the other 5 matches that will be part of Plaid Saturday 3's match card. I'll start with the biggest. The LFF World Heavyweight Championship will be defended. The current champion, John Polverino, Press 1P, will defend against Kirk Polka. They've announced that the stipulation for this match will be no stipulation. Disqualifications are in effect. If John Polverino loses by disqualification, he will retain the LFF World Heavyweight Championship. That's the big match. We have an Underworld Championship defense. Matt Neon, the current Underworld Champion, will defend against Peppy Pepper. This match will have a stipulation. It's going to be a ladder match. We have a defense of the LFF Tornado Tag Team Championship. We do not know who the challenger is. Of course, the current champion is Katie Kitty, Charity Vanderweel. She will be defending. Again, we do not know the opponent or if there will be a stipulation, but that match will take place. We have a defense of the United States Championship. Alex Flores, the current champion, will be defending against King Cold. And finally, the recently announced Midwest Coast Championship will see the match to crown the first ever champion of that title. The inaugural championship match will take place at Plaid Saturday 3. To determine who will be the 2 men in that championship, the 3 gentlemen in the committee that will administer the Midwest Coast Championship, the Director of Operations, Dave Marisak, the big guy, Gary Schneider, and Colin Simon, have decided to run an 8-man single elimination tournament. Here are the matchups in this tournament. Sean Loeb will face Anthony Perry, the cannoli. Tim Riley will face Patrick Mulligan. Doug Saunders will face Bobby Ohio. And Roman Milan will face Noel Torres Jr. Now, those are the pairings in what would essentially be the quarterfinals. We do not know what the semifinal matchups will be. We do not know who the winner of Sean Loeb and Anthony Perry will face, for example. That will all be determined at a future date. But right now, those 4 matches will need to take place, and then we'll have a top 4 and go from there. Those obviously have to be played in essentially the next 2 weeks because we will have to have 2 men remaining on January 30th to have the match for the Midwest Coast Championship. So I mentioned the Cookies Fortune Tournament. Let me give you an update on the Cookies Fortune Tournament. I announced the semifinals last week. One of those semifinal matches has concluded. Bob Dunn moves on. Bob Dunn is one of the 2 finalists in the Cookies Fortune Tournament. If he wins, the competitor he is using, Robert the Brain Dunn, will be who he can cash in that tournament for. The other match remaining, which should take place Tuesday night. It's scheduled for Tuesday night. That's the 19th as I record this. Is Matt Nealon, who is using his own competitor, Matt Nealon, in the tournament, and Chris Pate, who is using X-Royce in the tournament, a competitor he has had win after win with a lot of success with X-Royce for Chris Pate. That is where we are with the Cookies Fortune tournament. I also brought up the Friday match card. The only match we had known of prior to this week that was going to be on the Friday match card was a match where the winner would go on to have a shot at the Triad Championship. This was a Triad match between the Cannoli Anthony Perry, Ken Fouché, and the boss, the SRG boss, Steve Resk. Steve Resk will no longer be in that match. Instead, the big guy, Gary Schneider, will be taking his place. Anthony Perry versus Ken Fouché versus the big guy will be one of the matches on the Friday card as part of Plaid Saturday weekend. They've also announced as part of Plaid Saturday weekend, because the other company, WWE, has their Royal Rumble that Sunday, the 31st. Number one, there will be a Rumble at the Rumble 3 taking place at Highlander Games in Boonton, New Jersey that day. I'll give you more information on that. That's going to be an in-person tournament, so you will have to travel to that store to play. But I'll give you more information on that tournament when I talk about upcoming tournaments for the future. There has also been a bit of a tradition over the past few years where SRG Universe will offer lotteries for the Royal Rumble. Let me explain what I mean when I say that. They will say, here's a 30-person raffle. You buy your ticket, you buy into this 30-person raffle, or rather you buy one of the 30 tickets. Your ticket represents a slot in the Royal Rumble. So you sign up, you say you get entrant number 10. That will be randomly assigned to you, the entrant number, after everything's sold out. So you're not buying your entrant number. You can't go in and say, I want to buy number 30. You buy a spot, they assign you the number. If your entrant wins the Royal Rumble, you receive a prize. There were 4 Rumble lotteries put up Tuesday. It was announced during the dojo and it sold out, I would say, no later than Thursday, probably even Wednesday. They had 4 lotteries. 2 lotteries were for a create a competitor. One for the men's Royal Rumble, one for the women's Royal Rumble. The other 2 lotteries were for AJ Styles competitor sets. Again, one for the men's, one for the women's. There were also promo cards available, so when you signed up, you got your spot, you got your ticket, you got a promo card, and then you also have the shot to win either a create a competitor or an AJ Styles set. Like I said, those sold out very quickly. Will there be more made available? Maybe. They announced on Talk of the Universe that if between last Wednesday, which is the 13th as I record this, and I'm not sure what the end date is, maybe the 27th, nothing's been announced, but if SRG can get 30 subscriptions to their Twitch page, they will make more lotteries available. They have received 5 so far at last count. Will they make it to 30? I don't know. But that is what's going on with the lotteries. They're all sold out, but there may be more if SRG Universe can get 30 total new Twitch subscribers by a certain date and time. They didn't announce when it's going to end. I would guess maybe Wednesday the 27th, since that is the last Wednesday before Royal Rumble. I could be wrong. That is where we are with the events surrounding Plaid Saturday weekend, other than Rumble at the Rumble 3 details, which, like I said, I will give when I give all the tournament details for future tournaments later on in the show. Faction Wars. Faction Wars Phase 3 is almost complete. 3 of the 4 group stages have wrapped up. The 4th has an extension. The 3 teams that will be moving on are the Higher Class, Jog Squad, and the Line. All of those teams were the number 1 seeds. They were all the teams that got buys into Phase 3. So all of them are moving on to Phase 4. The remaining group that needs to finish up is the group containing 4 Up, Undisputed Underground, and Rust Belt. One of those 3 teams will move on to Phase 4. On Talk of the Universe, the general manager, John Clace, gave that group until midnight tonight as I record this, midnight on the 17th Eastern Time, to get their matches played and turned in. Hopefully that will happen, and we will know who the final team going on to Phase 4 will be. That's where we are with Faction Wars news. Other tournament news, the tag team tournament to determine a contender for the LFF Tag Team Championships. We have not gotten an update on that. Dangerous Alliance and Will She need to play off still in the losers bracket to see who will face Transatlantic Express for the tag team contendership opportunity. I would say that's it for the big news. Here's some other little bit of news that I can give you. They have confirmed now that there will be a Kickstarter campaign in February. Kind of a change from what they'd said before, that it might be later in the year. They have decided no, they're looking at launching a Kickstarter campaign near the end of February. We don't know what all the details are at this point. I will, like last year, try to get Steve Resk on to talk about the Kickstarter campaign. They have mentioned in the past that the next Kickstarter campaign will focus on the comic book they've been producing. That's all the news I have on that, but that has been confirmed. Kickstarter campaign, February 2021. CCC. Match number 7 in round 1 concluded Friday night. Here are the results. Fotista had 40 votes. Detective Slater Quaid had 63 votes. El Campeón de la Familia de las Lamas had 531 votes. And the winner, with 885 votes, Lucky Cat Nico. Lucky Cat Nico will move on to round 2. Now, as I record this, nothing has been released about match 8 for round 1. I presume that match 8 will exist. We've had, again, 7 matches so far, 4 people per match. That's 28. I believe we had something like 34 competitors, maybe more. So we should have 1 or 2 more matches. But as of right now, nothing has been posted about match 8. So I can't give you that information. I wish I could. If it comes in while I'm recording, I will let you know. Otherwise, unfortunately, I'll just have to put this episode out without knowing who is going to be in match 8 of the first round. There's going to be a bunch of new tag team and trio cards coming out. The list of those tag team and trio cards was discussed on Talk of the Universe, and they released those to the SRG Super Show discussion group on Facebook. So if you're curious what's coming out, check that list. They announced there's going to be a new submission finish card for the general manager John Clace competitor. We don't have any more details on that. Just that will come out. They have announced that, like Plaid Saturday 3 for January, there will be a Sunshine SmackDown event in February. This was an event hosted last year by FCW, Florida Cardboard Wrestling. It was an in-person event last year. It's going to be online this year. This is the Florida Players. We don't have any more details about that. It was a Create a Competitor tournament last year. Don't know if there'll be one this year. But we have that tournament has been announced. The LFF is looking for someone to be the LFF historian. No more details other than that, but that's something that they put out. And that is going to do it for the news this week. That is the bulk of the news for the LFF for Super Show the Game. Now, normally at this point in the show, I would talk about competitor sets. I would review a couple competitor sets for you. I have decided, going forward, that I will no longer review competitor sets on this show. The reason I'm doing that is because in my quest to make the show better, I am trying to cut out things people don't like. And all of the feedback I've gotten, for the most part, on that part of the show is people don't like it, they skip it, they're not interested. I, however, like doing it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that segment and make it its own mini show. So while that segment won't be featured here, it will still happen. My plan is to release that show once a week, just like I release this show. I would also like to have on guests. What I would like to do is this. I would like to have myself and a guest talk about 2 competitor sets. I will talk about something new. The guest that I bring on can talk about any competitor set they want, new or old, and we will essentially discuss our thoughts on the competitor, what we think would be good with the competitor, so on and so forth. If you would like to come on and talk about a competitor set, please reach out to me either directly through Facebook Messenger or outlawmudcast@gmail.com. Either way works. And let me know that you want to come on and talk about a competitor. We'll set something up and record it. I do not at this point have a set day and time that I'm going to release those episodes. I will probably release those during the week. Usually I like to space it out, so maybe midweek. This show will happen on Sunday, and then the new competitor spotlight show will happen Thursdays, approximately. I am not committing to that firmly. That's just an idea. But I believe that is what we're going to do going forward. So if you're interested in coming on and talking about a competitor, reach out to me, contact me, Facebook Messenger, outlawmudcast@gmail.com, and we'll set it up and record. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the tournaments from this past week. It's been a bit lighter than usual. We didn't have anything Saturday or Friday, but we did have a show Sunday. Sunday, Brian Waitford Schmidt hosted a pop-up event. It was a trios event. The finalists in the trios event were Jeremy Steigerwald using The Family and Jokerfish using Freak Show. The winner of the pop-up event was Jeremy Steigerwald with The Family. Congratulations to him. Monday night, we have the new night for the Proving Ground tournament. The tournament run by the Dread Pirate tech support Simon Stretz. Top 4 in that tournament, which by the way was a Liger's Den tournament. Every match played in the tournament had to be played under the Liger's Den stipulation. In 4th place we had Paul Trejo using the second version of Mr. Snap. In 3rd place we had Matt Haas using El Scorpio. The finals were Tim Riley using Liger and Jeremy Steigerwald using Lucha Maniacal Uberstar. The winner, Tim Riley using Liger. Liger wins the Liger's Den event. Congratulations to Tim Riley. And again, another great showing from Jeremy Steigerwald, going to the finals in 2 straight tournaments, winning 1. Of course, we had Dojo Tuesday night. Thursday, we had Chibi's Seat of Power number 3. Again, this was a group stage tournament, 16 players in 4 groups, cut to a top 8. The top 3 in this tournament ended up being, in third place, Matt Nealon using Dizzy Derailed. The finalists were Chris Pate using Gia de los Muertos and Alec Ventresca using Johnny Gargano. The winner, Chris Pate using Gia de los Muertos. Congratulations to Chris Pate. Some highlights from the tournament that Paul Trejo wanted me to mention. There was a tag match with the Grump and Chris Pate taking on Jeremy Steigerwald and John Polverino. This was a match to determine who would move on. This was a tiebreaker match from the group stage. And while the Grump and Chris Pate would advance, a very special thing happened at Crowd Meter 2 on the 4th breakout roll, which they had because Jeremy Steigerwald was using the cannoli, which grants you an additional breakout roll. On the 4th breakout roll, they were able to kick out and stay alive. However, they did not advance, but an amazing thing to happen. There was also a steel cage match in the top cut. In the first round of the top cut, under the steel cage stipulation, all the matches played under the steel cage stipulation, Simon Strauss and Chris Pate escaped the cage at the same time, and the match had to be replayed. So a couple of amazing moments from this tournament. Since I mentioned the stipulations, the semifinals were all ladder matches, and the finals was a submission match. That was Chibi's Seat of Power tournament from Thursday. There was nothing Friday, as far as I know. There was nothing official Saturday. That is to say, from SRG tournament-wise. WWW, which is an online federation from the people at CCW out of the Pittsburgh area, they had an event. Then Hold the Line Harry also hosted a Sticks, Steps, and Chairs Street Fight mini tournament. I believe these were all invited competitors. I don't know about that. But the finals saw Chris Pagillo using the Mad Custodian face off against Andrew Mechie. I'm not sure if it's Mechie or Mechie. I keep hearing it as Mechie, so I'm going to say Mechie. I apologize if I've gotten that wrong. But Mr. Mechie using Slash Gordon. Again, these matches were all played under the new Sticks, Steps, and Chairs stipulation. As far as I know, this is not an official stipulation yet. I'm not sure if it was created by Hold the Line Harry or if it's sort of in test between SRG Universe and Hold the Line Harry, but all the matches were played under that stipulation, and the winner of the finals between the two finalists I just gave you was Andrew Mechie using Slash Gordon. He won 3-2 in 40 minutes with overtime, so these matches are timed. But there is an overtime provision. Andrew Mechie ends up winning in overtime, and because he has won, he will now face the SRG boss, Steve Resk, in a best-of-3 series under this stipulation, and if he wins, he will receive a membership ring. Congratulations to him. That is all for the tournaments from this past week. There is going to be a pop-up tournament from Brian Schmidt later tonight as I record this. It is the 17th. Again, this will be published before that tournament concludes, so I have no information to give you on that. But that tournament will be happening tonight. While I was recording, we do have information on the next match in round 1 of the CCC of the 2020 Creator Competitor Competition. We also know now that there are going to be only 2 matches remaining. And both of these are triple threats. So that means we have 34 entrants in the competition. That means 9 are going to move on to round 2 as a result of winning their round 1 matches. I would not be surprised to see 7 people make it as wild cards. That round 2 will feature 16 people. I don't know about that, but that makes a lot of sense to me. Meanwhile, here are the 3 contestants for match 8. The Dweeb, Johnny V, and Man from Tomorrow. The Dweeb was in the previous year's CCC. That's Stephen Lyons' competitor. I don't know who Johnny V is. I don't know who Man from Tomorrow is. Mike Riot is often nicknamed as the Man from Tomorrow. I do not know if this is another competitor for Mike Riot, Ian Kenderdine, or if this is another person using the moniker Man from Tomorrow. The descriptions and pictures for those competitors are up on the SRG Super Show discussion group page and Facebook, so check that out. Now let's talk about tournaments coming up in the future. I will start with Plaid Saturday 3. Plaid Saturday 3 is scheduled to take place January 30th, end of this month. It is going to be a competitor tournament. $20 entrance fee. The bell time is scheduled to start at 12:30. 3 promos: Sheepshooter, Smack with a Shovel, and Big Ballers. Big Ballers, I believe, is a new Tornado tag team, either card or competitor set. I'm not sure. This is going to be the group stage format, where you'll be placed into a group, probably 4 people, play, and then based on your records, 1 or 2 people will be promoted out of that into the top cut. There will be random stipulations in the top cut. There are 4 competitors booked for the tournament, outside of those banned by 2020 Vision: D2, Belinda, Snake Pit, and Gold Standard. That is where we are with Plaid Saturday 3. Monday, we have the next Dread Pirate Proving Ground event, 7 p.m. start time. Again, that's the 18th. It will be bullet rounds. Play as many matches as possible for 2 hours. From 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., you play as many matches as possible. Minimum 6. If you don't hit the minimum, there is a penalty for missing it. I believe what they just announced is that you will take 2 losses if you do not get your 6 match minimum in. But bullet rounds, as many as possible for 2 hours, then they cut to a top 4. There's a point system. If you take first place, you get 3 points. Second place, 2 points. Third, 1. When you hit 15 points, you are no longer eligible for prizes. If you would receive a prize, you must instead pay it forward. It's going to be a Beast Unchained stipulation this week. And the winner of the Beast Unchained tournament will receive a match for a membership ring using the Beast Unchained stipulation. So, winning the Proving Ground will get you a shot at a membership ring. Next tournament, we have a tag team tournament this Saturday. $8 entrance fee, GM Loudmouth's tag team event. 5 p.m. start time on the 23rd. Only 24 spots available for teams. Double elimination tournaments. You must submit your deck list to the general manager. It's a no disqualification tournament. You can use skill cards with 16 or greater skill requirement. That means both you and your partner must add up to 16 to use that skill. Gimmicks will trigger only once a turn roll. And Degenerate Mafia DGM tag team card will be the promo card. Again, that's an $8 entrance fee, and that is taking place the 23rd at 5 p.m. That is it for all of the online tournaments. Of course, we do have Rumble at the Rumble 3, which is a live tournament taking place at Highlander Games in Boonton, New Jersey. $25 entrance fee. 1 p.m. start time on Sunday the 31st. It can only have 40 players, so it's going to be restricted. First 40 get in. It's a create a competitor tournament. Snake Pit, Belinda, EC3, X-Royce, and D2 are all banned. In addition to the main create a competitor tournament, there will also be a sealed payoff pack grand battle tournament, and they will show the Royal Rumble pay-per-view if you are there live in person. You can watch the pay-per-view after the festivities. That is it for all of the events that I'm aware of online and in person. I didn't mention the dojo, but Tuesday night, 8:30, I believe is the start time. But Tuesday night, dojo on the SRG Universe Twitch page. I've also received confirmation that the man from tomorrow in the CCC is Ian Kenderdine, Mike Riot's character. Still don't know about Johnny V, but that is all the information I have about the CCC. One last thing about upcoming events. Nothing's been posted yet, but February, Florida's hosting Sunshine SmackDown, and expect the day before to be a boss match card. And that's going to do it for this week's show. I'd like to thank all of you for listening, and good day.